Don't make me stand up, Philly. Don't you make me do it.
It's a pair of threes, Kenny. You're making a fool of yourself. But you're not making one of me. You fucking hear me?
Gentlemen.
Come on, Mac. I'll see what's going on here.
Gentlemen, let's keep a lid on it. Let's keep it civilized. It's just a friendly game.
Detective Vince Treadwell lowered his copy of the Evening News and studied the scene before him, which was a card school. The game they were playing was Kaluki, a form of rummy, and currently all the rage for achieving a quick turnover in profit and losses. It wasn't much of a card school. 2 members hadn't turned up, and 2 players had already dropped out. D.I. Bert Jennings, a detective from Vice, who headed up the squad that looked into the illegal gambling activities centred in and around Soho and Chinatown, had done all his money and gone home to the wife in sleepy Dulwich. The other player was Dr. Clayton Merriman, one of the most experienced and respected whitecoats in criminal pathology and a degenerate horse player and gambler to boot. Doc had been fortuitously called away earlier. He'd been losing all night, going belly up with some dreadful hands, so a trip to the morgue was probably to be viewed as some light relief. Of the 3 players left, DCI Maurice McCluskey was the highest in rank and also a calming voice of reason in the room.
Gentlemen, let's keep it civilized. No need for any unpleasantness.
Mac, as DCI Maurice McCluskey was readily, if somewhat predictably referred to, was soothing the ire of the 2 other remaining players, who were shaping up over a pair of threes. They were the redoubtable double act composed of DS Philip, Philly Jacket, and DS Kenny Block. Philly was accusing Kenny of cheating. It was subtle, unpremeditated, spur-of-the-moment cheating, but cheating nonetheless, some dealing from the bottom and some doubling up on the laydown. Mac already knew that Kenny cheated on occasion, so he always went in low when he was dealing. And he let it pass, and didn't pull Kenny up about it because he found it mildly amusing, and it also gave him an advantage. He could tell when Kenny was cheating because Kenny had a series of gambler's tells. He couldn't look anyone in the eye. Sweats bubbled up on his forehead, and his whole face went capillary red. He might as well have been wearing a sign. Philly, who should have known that Kenny cheated, clearly didn't, and had just found out, hence the tete-a-tete. Vince considered the 2 men, who were now standing up, with Mac pointing firmly at both. The reproving gesture was enough to stop them in their tracks. Philly and Kenny were both medium height, medium build, and medium talent detectives. They were in it for the duration, but unlikely to rise much above their present positions, both in their mid-30s, both solid-looking fellows with the blunted features and the cautious eyes of coppers who mixed easily in the pubs and clubs and environs of villains. They'd been partnering each other for as long as anyone could remember, and worked well together. They were so similar in appearance, dress, and demeanour that, when they were questioning a suspect, the potential perpetrator soon realised there was no good cop or bad cop in the room, just Block and Jacket. An insurmountable brick wall of sameness. As the 2 coppers shot off their questions, the suspect's head would swivel from one to the other like the observer of an especially fast rally in a tennis match, soon realising there was no way out. It became a blur, and it was the inevitability and monotony of it all that wore the offenders down to confess their sins. And that's exactly what Block and Jacket had been doing about 3 hours earlier. In a salacious case that had made all the papers, a schoolteacher had murdered his wife and her lesbian lover, who just happened to be the school's lollipop lady. The alliteration alone was enough to crack everyone up. The schoolteacher himself was out of the country at the time, a keen philatelist attending a convention in Germany, when the killer broke into the home of his wife's lollipop lady lesbian lover and splattered both of their brains all over the hire purchase furniture with a 12-bore shotgun. Salacious soon became farcical.